got a modular sound system, compact disc, cellular phone, rack and pinion steering, and mag rims. What did he say?
He said a spiff.
Hey! The party's in here! Nice snap, dude!
No, say you're going to go see Haley's comic. I said I was going to the library with Cynthia Potts.
Ugh, the girl with the warts on her knee. We would have squeezed you in.
Or I would have thrown him out.
This sure is a beautiful car ride.
Thanks.
This is so exciting. I hope she's cool.
Yeah, my fantasy, she's vanity in a crew neck sweater. Woo! Yeah. Oh, fish.
Fish is brain food.
Well, I do have a geometry midterm. I guess I'll have a shrimp or two.
In your case, I suggest Shamu the whale.
Could a kid from South Central Los Angeles with zero formal acting training walk on to one of NBC's most beloved black sitcoms and hold his own against seasoned veterans, all before his 18th birthday? That question answers itself the moment you understand who Curtis Baldwin actually is. Born on November 25, 1967, in Los Angeles, California, Curtis did not arrive in this industry through a prestigious drama school or a well-connected Hollywood family. He arrived through sweat, South Central street instincts, and a woman named Marla Gibbs who saw something in him before he fully saw it in himself. He is perhaps best known for his role as Calvin Bobs in the beloved sitcom 227, which aired from 1985 to 1990.
Oh, how'd you get a Ferrari in that little box? That's a cool, Mr. Jenkins.
A show that provided a humorous yet poignant glimpse into the lives of African-American residents in a Washington, D.C. apartment building. But the story of how he got there, what he did after, and what he built from the rubble of a career the industry quietly forgot about is far more layered than a single character credit on a beloved NBC Friday night lineup. Before 227 was a television show, it was a stage production. Marla Gibbs ran an arts academy called Crossroads on 83rd and Vermont and South Central Los Angeles, and it was there that a play titled 227 first came to life. Regina King was in it. Nia Long was in it. Curtis Baldwin was in it too, though not in front of the camera. He worked as the stage manager first, handling props, cueing talent, making sure every moving part of the production stayed on track. Then, Marla's youngest son, Dorian, who would later become Curtis's manager, began grooming him for something bigger. Marla herself directed him, and when the play made its transition to NBC as a full sitcom in 1985, Curtis Baldwin walked onto that set as Calvin Dobbs, Pearl Shea's grandson, the teenager Brenda Jenkins would eventually fall for.
Well, you know, Marla had an arts academy and called Crossroads on 83rd and Vermont. The play 227 was there.
It started off as a play.
It started off as a play, yeah.
Okay.
Regina was in it, Nia Long, a lot of different people. Hal was in it. But I was like the stage manager, assistant stage manager, until I became stage manager. So I was close to being right there with the director, like moving the set, thinking props, make sure everybody's on cue and stuff like that.
He was 17 years old. He had no formal training. Every other cast member had experience. He did not. And they threw him into the deep end immediately, building 5 episodes in the first season almost entirely around his character to see whether the crowd would connect with him or reject him. They connected. The discipline that kept him alive in the streets of South Central transferred directly into the discipline that kept him employed on a major network sitcom.
17 years old, 14 at the, started.
Yeah.
So you hit 17, you hit the show, right?
Yeah.
At 17. So that was your first season
first
at 17.
audition, first everything, yes.
Okay. Did you have any favoritism because you already knew people? Or you think you just auditioned it and you fucked it up?
No, I worked really, really hard. I made the character come alive. Marla did a great job of directing me, her and her youngest son, Dorian, who was to be my manager at the time, and Angela, groomed me for the opportunity.
The sitcom ran on NBC from September 1985 to May 1990 and was about the daily lives of a group of people living in a Chicago apartment complex. The star of the show was Marla Gibbs as Mary Jenkins. For Curtis, those 5 seasons were not just a job. They were a graduate program. He watched how Marla moved through a set, how she maintained authority, how she directed energy in a room full of competing personalities. He watched how the business side of entertainment operated and how quickly a young person without business knowledge could get swallowed by it.
It's a thing where that 5 years being on 227 was like a university for me. It was like a college. And for a lot of years, I strayed away from it. And, I didn't really want to be in the business. But now I'm utilizing it in a whole nother way.
And he also appeared in Family Matters and Moshe.
She's my girl.
Oh, so Q, you shouldn't mind him getting beat down.
She does, so I do.
All right, man, we out of here, homie.
He dated Regina King. The cast was a constellation of talent that would go on to define Black entertainment for decades. Regina King has since won an Academy Award, a Golden Globe Award, and 4 Primetime Emmy Awards.
The ensemble that gathered around Marla Gibbs on that stage and then on that set produced careers that are still running today. And Curtis Baldwin was in the middle of all of it at 17, absorbing everything. The thing nobody talks about is what happened at the end. When 227 wrapped in 1990, Curtis received a digital check, and the amount made a grown man standing next to him cry. He held that paper and walked to cash it, and it was only in that moment that the full weight of what he had been part of landed on him. If he had known the show would syndicate for another 32 years and eventually land on streaming platforms, he would have fought harder for his piece of it. But he was 18 when he started. Nobody handed him a contract lawyer. Nobody explained recoupment.
Had I known, I would have made sure that I got way more money. Like I got a digital check, and one of my partners was with me, and he was like, I showed him, he started crying. He's like, I was just gonna ask her to hold something. I'm like, nah, bro. Hold what, nigga?
That lesson would shape everything that came after. When 227 ended, Family Matters came calling, and so did other projects. But Curtis walked a different direction. He walked back towards South Central, toward music, toward the elements he had grown up with: breakdancing, DJing, and producing. The streets were still loud, and for a young man without the business foundation to protect the momentum he had built, the pull of that world was real. Then came the relationship that would reshape his entire understanding of the music industry. He became close with the daughter of Dick Griffey, the man who founded Solar Records, an acronym for Sound of Los Angeles Records, the label that played a major role in developing a funk-oriented blend of disco, R&B, and soul music during the 1970s and 1980s. Solar's roster included The Whispers, Midnight Star, and The Deal. Babyface came through that ecosystem. Death Row's origins were connected to it. Curtis did not just date into a family. He apprenticed inside one of the most important independent Black music operations in American history.
I had a really close relationship with Pops and learned a lot about the business. Just learned how to be a businessman.
Griffey became like a father figure, and Curtis learned how to be a businessman by watching how the man moved. The lesson was not theory. It was observation, proximity, and the quiet education that comes from being in the room when real decisions get made. That time with Griffey planted a seed that would take another 2 decades to fully grow.
His first child, Kurt III, arrived in 1991 when Curtis was 23. Rather than slowing down, he leaned further into music. Connections formed with Christopher Williams and Kiama Griffin led to a group deal at EMI Records, followed by a publishing deal with In My Records. The recording industry education he received in that period was expensive and clarifying. The deals were structured around recoupment, meaning every hotel stay, every promotional expense, every marketing dollar spent on an artist came out of the artist's future earnings first. A hit record was not enough if it did not hit hard enough to recover the label's investment before the artist saw a cent of real money.
Well, the deals back then were structured. It's like a loan, like anything else.
You gotta pay it back.
You gotta pay it back. Everything is the word is called recoupable.
Talk your shit, because they gotta hear this shit.
I mean, it's called recoupable. If you say all funds that are allocated to you in regards to marketing, promotions, likeness, making you look good, giving you, all that shit's charged back to you. So when you out at the hotel and you're like, I want to stay at the 5-star shit.
Ritz-Carlton.
Ritz-Carlton, you niggas don't understand.
It's coming out of your check.
Yeah, so let's say you do go out there and you got a hit record, and that shit hit, right? It better hit hard. Because if it don't hit hard, they're just gonna be recouping. And if they're not gonna give you no money till they've recouped their money and made some.
He came out of that period understanding something that most artists only understand after it is too late. The music industry is called show business, and the business half is the half
path most performers never bothered to learn. Through the 1990s, Curtis kept producing, kept writing, kept building a catalog that would eventually span 2 decades of R&B and rap. He battled alongside producers and lyricists in the same creative circles that shaped West Coast hip-hop during its most explosive period. He wanted to rap. The problem was that the hottest rapper alive at that time was Tupac Shakur, and Curtis's instinct was to imitate him. He recognized the problem himself. Imitation of a giant is not an identity, it is a ceiling. Meanwhile, people he knew from those years were going in a different direction. Queen Latifah was moving toward acting. Will Smith was chasing Hollywood, while comedians and musicians around Curtis watched him and wanted what he had. He had been the one on the screen. He had already done what they were working toward. The irony of that was not lost on him, and it did not settle easily. The county saw him briefly, but no felony record from that period. But the proximity to something far worse was real, and he knew it.
That's later after motherfuckers get rich and get money and that bullshit.
So the streets didn't eat you up completely?
Nah. I'm a master.
You didn't do no jail time, nothing?
Nah, at the county, yeah, but I ain't got no state number or nothing like that, or no Fed number, nothing like that. Credit card shit, Grand Theft Auto, stupid shit when I was younger, but nothing that gave me a state number.
He began to understand that the South Central street code of projecting intimidation and hardness was just security theater, a performance by people who had not yet made peace with their own fear. The men who were genuinely capable did not need to broadcast it. That clarity became the philosophical engine behind everything he built next. Years of watching the industry, of watching famous Amos sell his cookie brand at the height of its power and walk away with nothing while Nabisco made $1 billion from what he had created, calcified into a single operating principle for Curtis Baldwin. Own your IP. All of it. Every character, every format, every frame of footage. The show he conceived, shoot the pitch, roll the clip,
and let him hit some switches. That's the quickest way to get it repped up, right? Show you right. Because the boy rep on him flat right now, boy, he ready to die out here.
Came out of a pitch he originally brought to Donald Faison, designed as a comedy variety format with 2 comedians in big chairs introducing sketches. A spiritual successor to Chappelle's show built for the gap that Dave Chappelle left when he walked away from $50 million. Curtis believed the whole was real, the audience was still hungry, and the right creative team could fill it. What made the show different from the standard pitch was how it was constructed. Curtis wrote it, directed it, produced the music for it, and structured the ownership so that no network or platform could buy the format without buying the entire cast and the creative architecture around it. The chemistry of the ensemble was the product. Separate the chemistry, and there was nothing left to purchase.
That's why I'd be like, I wouldn't sell it.
Like 10 million. Yeah, I'm giving them everybody. Y'all go on your own way.
We're gonna make the money. That's the thing. If they can offer me 10 million, they're gonna make
30, 40.
Way more than that. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That shit.
So it's like, you have to understand your worth.
The first episode featured Marla Gibbs and her daughter. The second locked in Donald Faison. Angela Gibbs was slated. Spanky Hayes was confirmed. The cast that assembled around the concept was not a collection of names pulled from a casting call. It was a community built over decades of real relationships. People who trusted Curtis because they had watched him show up consistently when the stakes were low and when the stakes were everything. The show was structured to land on Tubi TV and Crackle, with the plan to build a body of episodes before delivery, so the audience arrived at a full season rather than a single pilot floating in the algorithm. Beyond the show itself, Curtis was already developing the next 2 projects that would grow out of it. Branches from a tree that was planted the moment he stopped chasing other people's formats and started building his own. As of 2026, Curtis Baldwin's estimated net worth is around $1.5 million, earned through decades in entertainment, music production, and business ventures. But Money only tells part of his story. Beyond acting, Curtis runs his music production company, Raw Rizzo, continuing a lifelong connection to creativity and sound. One of his greatest sources of pride is his son, Kid Third, who has built a career as a rapper. Curtis raised him in a home where recording sessions were part of everyday life, where music was more than entertainment. It was a way of living. The studio was always active, and those experiences experiences helped shape the artist his son would become. The legacy of 227 never left Curtis, nor did he ever try to escape it. And if Curtis Baldwin's journey proves anything, it's that talent may open a door, but dedication is what keeps it open. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to stick around for more remarkable journeys from television's most unforgettable stars.